Hey, what's up? It's Michael. Coming from the platform Let's Start Something. We're starting the conversation today. Today is going to be about in family and how we deal with situations when we're on drugs, when we're not on drugs. How do we come back from a bad situation? Can we repair and restore our family situations? Is it possible? Um, I believe that it is. In the past, in some way or another, it's been possible for me, but I think when it comes to close relationships like marriage or girlfriend, boyfriend, something like that, or girlfriend, don't matter. I think what it is that a lot of us have a lot of bitter anger and frustration with the other half. Let's say, for instance, my role in my last relationship was anytime things got really bad or weren't even bad at all, except for the fact that I was using, I would end up going to prison or something of that nature. This time was totally different when I lost my girlfriend. So, what I'm talking about here is how do we repair those relationships? Is it possible to repair those relationships? I, for one, would tell you like the quickest way is, man, if you're a Christian, just be honest with yourself. Read the Word of God. You would understand that all of us have our own problems, but they're the same problems initially. We all have the same feelings. We know what it means to be in fight or flight. We know what it means to freeze. We know what it means to suffer, to be betrayed, to be disowned, to all those different types of things in life. Every single one of us experienced it, and if you're not admitting it to yourself, you're a fat mouth and a liar, and I'll be the first one to call you on it. The reason for that being is that in the Word of God it says that God doesn't let the rain fall on the just and the unjust differently. It falls on them the same, which means those who have been saved and those who haven't been saved will reap the same difficulties as the people who are. Just because you become saved, like say you're a Christian and you've been saved because you know Jesus Christ, doesn't mean you're not going to have the problems that all the other people do. And matter of fact, your problems will probably be even worse and more highlighted because guess who is going to try to take your joy and happiness from you, even though he can't take your life from you, he can't take your salvation away from you, he can make your life miserable. And how we let him in is because we are not being honest with ourselves. We're not being loving and caring and joyful like we're supposed to be. How do we get to that spot? Well, for me, it was having a relationship with Jesus Christ, right? That's where everything changed for me. And so when that changed, was years and years and years ago, I became a better person for that reason. You can always hear the sirens and stuff. I like to do my videos outside. Sometimes I'll do them inside during the day, but I like doing it at night just before I go to bed or before I start settling down. Anyhow, oh, check out the new look. I had to do that because I didn't like my hawk. It was too narrow. I like it to be a little bit wider, and I had to cut it myself, but it wasn't ready to be cut. So, oh well. I'll just keep going with what I got. Anyhow. So with Let's Start Something is about the conversation about family issues, drug addiction, all that. So I'm telling you my experience, and my experience is not that much different from other people. Recently I posted a thing about a person named Tara Connor. She was 2006 Miss USA while Trump was still owning the pageant. Now, while she was under her crown, she was found to be guilty for having cocaine and being under the influence of cocaine. Turns out she had a lifelong addiction to all kinds of different things, and it started at a very early age. Commonly, most people have a problem with alcohol and drugs at an early age, like myself. I started drinking at about 11 and all the way up until I was 12. Now, during that time, we had DARE to keep kids off drugs, and we had the Just Say No due to the Reagan administration and Nancy Reagan and all that, and that was working. At least it was for me. Initially, I wanted to be a part of that thing. I've always had an infatuation when I was a kid. I wanted to be like the cops on the TV. You know what I mean? Running and gunning them, having to shoot them out, and you'd be the bad, get the bad guy, and you're the hero every day. That's kind of how I looked at it. And so when I saw the cops come on our school grounds and then we teach about this thing, so I was like, oh, I'll never be like that. Well, that's not true because I'd already started drinking, and what does drinking normally do? It leads to something else, and one drug leads to another until you find that one that you really like. and then even after that, you may try everything else. So about that time, I said I would never do drugs. You know, I would never smoke weed, nothing like that. And then I remember my brother, not to put him on the spot, I won't tell his name, but nothing wrong with what he was doing. It just hadn't been legal yet. So I'd find a bong in the hall closet, and I poured it out and I threw away the bong. Now, he never mentioned it because he just assumed mom did it, you know, because mom would do that to him all the time ever since he was a teenager. To save his ass, normally from my dad, because my dad would freak out if he even knew he was smoking pot. And that was before my time. Even though I was a kid, I saw a lot of abusive things happen between him and my brother. All right, so with that, I want you to understand something. There are 20 million Americans today that suffer from alcoholism and drug abuse. Only 10% of that 20 million will find the help they deserve. Some will look for it, some will be forced upon to have it, things like that. That is not right. Come over here, Josh. You want to say hi?
Yeah.
Josh, this is my YouTube channel. Hi,
Hey.
that's Josh. He lives here with me at the medical respite. He was just photobombing me. I like it. Anyways, he's a good guy, and I don't mind having people in my video as long as they're willing to be in my video. Technically, I'm not supposed to have them because it could be a legal issue. So I respect that, but since he already blew about 7 minutes of my video already, I was not going to stop just because he decided to stick his hand in the video. With that, that's what's good about me doing my videos, because there has been and there's going to be situations where people do some weird shit, and I definitely do videos of interviews of people who are very interesting. And like my favorite video that I've done to date is with Nathaniel. So if you look at my YouTube channel and just look up Michael Merryman, Merryman, that's my last name. If you look that up and you'll see my YouTube channel, you'll basically look for the guy that looks like me, and the little Chucky doll emoji towards my email. So let's start something with Nathaniel is my favorite one. It's about a 40-minute video where I do an interview with him, and it's amazing. So I'm not going to run it for you. I just recommend that you watch it. All right, so moving on. I don't want to make this video too long. I just want to, touch base with my family and friends out there and kind of give you a heads up of what's going on with me. So we were talking about the family, right? And how relationships are destroyed or pretty much put on hold or something like that while you're going through your thing. One of the things is for me is I've always admired people who can be loyal and have honor and respect and dignity. I looked up to people that even though they were scumbags to everybody else, they weren't, because they stuck to their guns all the time, even if they were assholes or even if they were bitches. It didn't matter. At least they stuck to their guns. And that I've always admired, and that's always the way I've wanted to be. I've made several compromises to my character and to what I truly believe in my heart is right over the last 20, 30 years. And those compromises always turn out to bite me in the ass. The reason why is because I'm not being honest with myself. And if I can't be honest with myself, I can't treat anybody else with dignity or respect either. Even if I try, I can't, because it's not designed to be that way. Unfortunately, I think because I know Jesus expects me to be like him and be, have respect and honor, dignity, loyalty, caring, trust, all those things that are important in life, in my opinion. Integrity being right at the top, and how we gain integrity, how we judge our integrity is based on this. If you have a job, right, and your job requires you to be there at 7 a.m. every morning and you don't leave until 5 p.m. every evening, if you can do that throughout 6 months to a year without any problems, that is considered integrity, because they can see a trail of you doing the right thing along that path. Now, there's other forms of integrity that are a little bit different. I'm just saying, if you say you're going to do something, do it. If you can't do it, don't make excuses. Just say, I'm not going to do it. People will always ask you why. When people ask something from you and you tell them no, they'll always ask you why. And the reason is because they feel like, for some reason, they deserve what they're asking for, and you owe them an explanation. That's not true. However, I'm a nice guy. I'm a good guy, I'm a gentleman, and I'll always give somebody the proper answer if I think it's correct. If I think for a minute you're using me, abusing me, or even treating me with disrespect, that's not going to happen. Why? Because I love myself. For the first time in a long time, I actually love who I am because I am who I say I am, and that is not an easy thing for anybody to do. A lot of people will act like that, boast about that, and that's not true. Most people who know me, including my family members, and I know my mom might be a little biased or whatever, but she'll tell you the truth too. And that's been a good thing for me because I've always been reassured when I thought that what did I do? Why did I do this? Why am I feeling this way? Why does my old lady treat me like a piece of shit, Mom? I'm not a piece of shit. What the fuck? It doesn't matter. I look at it from other people's perspective. That's what's important. I understand that there is even with people who use and they end up getting clean, especially for the first time, and they've done it on their own, they have a prejudice against other people who still use and have a problem. They don't look at them like they're human beings and go, you know what, man, I used to be just like that, and I know what it feels to be like that. They judge themselves based upon the things that they did when they were high, whether they stole from you, stole from your family, screwed your brother, screwed your girlfriend, screwed your ex-girlfriend, screwed your sister. There's a lot of really not appropriate things that happen in the drug realm. That's what's so good about Tara Connor's video, is that she could tell you by the time she got to that place where she saw all that going on, she's like, hey man, these are my peeps. And that's true, right? Because we associate ourselves with that and we think we are those things, but we're not. We have succumbed to life's difficulties and the problems that we faced as a child, and we never got over it because we felt shame, guilt, and a lot of different feelings that didn't allow us to come to the surface and take air and go, wait a minute, I have a right to be happy. I have a right to have a career and to have a good life. I have a right to choose the people I want to be with, not be forced to be around people that just want to suck the freaking life out of me. No, just kidding. That's how it feels, right? So shitty, right? I'm just trying to keep a level understanding of what's really going on in the world of drugs and addiction and alcoholism, depression, self-harm, self-abuse. I've never, when I was a kid, maybe you might think that was, I was doing tattoos on myself, I was cutting on myself, doing weird stuff, burning myself, not to try to mask the pain or the frustration or the shame that I was going through, just because I was a weird kid and everybody was doing it. However, I do understand that there's people who do it because they're hurting inside and they don't know how to deal with their pain. And cutting is one of the things to handle it. Bulimia, you have a bad self-image. Cutting goes from a bad self-image to you're puking yourself to you're hiding everything about yourself until one day all of a sudden you're starting to puke up blood and you can't get off the floor and you're just crawling to the phone to call for help, and then finally you get some help and then whoa, maybe I should ask for some help. That's the problem I had. I always figured out, because I'm a smart guy, right? And got a pretty decent IQ, but I always figured out how to deal with things on my own. And because of that, I was leaning on my own understanding. There's even a proverb on that. Thou shalt not lean on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall make your path straight. So even if I didn't have anybody around me I could trust, I could always lean on God and say, hey, what's going on? What do I need to do? How do I need to do it? And, he's not going to ignore me because he loves me. He loves all of us, no matter what you think. That's true. I ignore him. I think, I got this. I can do this. I can handle this. You know what I mean? I can handle the fact that I'm broke. I can handle the fact that I just lost my job. I can handle the fact that I just lost my son. I can handle the fact that my girlfriend kicked me out because she was bitter and angry, and who knows what else was going on with her. I can't explain. I just know that she deserves better, and I hope she's getting it wherever she's at. And if that means that I'm not in her life, then so be it, because it's everybody's right God-given right to be happy, to have joy, to have purpose in life, and to go in that direction and not have anybody drag you down. However, in the world of commitment, and you make a commitment to somebody regardless of what happens to that person or what that person's going through, that's commitment, and that's real love. Real love is a choice. It's not just a feeling. It's not just about emotion. Your emotions tell you that this person excites you and keeps you interested, and they keep you interested by keeping your emotions aroused. But however, when you commit to somebody, that's a contract. And when you are married, right, in the house of God, under God's house, in front of Him, the pastor, and all the witnesses, you take the vows. Those vows mean something to you. Now, I understand that there are a lot of people who take the vows and don't know what it means to make a commitment and what that contract is supposed to represent. That contract is supposed to represent the three: Father, Son, Holy Spirit. You are body, spirit, soul, mind. You got a lot going on. Well, when two come together, they're considered as one. God's right there, Spirit's right there. That's three. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm not preaching to you because I'm a jerk and I just think I know what I'm talking about. I actually went to seminary school. Does that make me special? No, it just it's the fact that I committed myself to that. I learned how to teach and preach the Word of God. I did it for 3 years, and I was also the worship leader for 3 years. And that was a very exciting time in my life. And I still kind of miss those things, but not in that setting, so to speak, and I can talk about that later. I'm going to end this at about 20 minutes. So just to let you know, we're at 16 minutes. Just hang tight with me and listen to what I'm trying to say about relationships. Okay, so when it comes to marriage, it's different. And the thing is, it's up to the pastor and people who should be around you to educate you on the choices that you are making. So if you're making a choice to be with somebody for life, the obvious thing is you might see that they're in love, but you need to separate the love factor and shove in the commitment factor. This is a contract between the two of you, God and myself, and all the witnesses and people who sign this contract, which means you'll never break it. So help you God as long as you live. If you break that contract, in the Word of God, it means that you're an adulterer. Now, did I break my contract? I did. I was told that if for any reason I became addicted to drugs again, or I chose to do drugs again, it didn't matter what the reason was or why, I was toast. It was going to be done. Did I believe that? Absolutely not. I didn't believe that. I mean, how are you going to do that to somebody? Really? But I was wrong. So I own it. I bugged up. And in some circles, it's considered to those individuals that you're cheating on them. It feels like you're cheating on them, even though you may be completely honest with them, but you're getting high. It feels like you are picking that over them. And because you chose to do that over them, they're done with you, or there's something wrong with you, or it's over whatever. However it ends up, it always looks the same. It's not. I never chose drugs over my family or my wife or my kids or nothing, right? I didn't drive up to the dope house and say, fuck them all. I don't care about them. All I care about is myself. I just care about the pain I'm going through, and I'll do anything to mask it. I can't understand what's going on in my head, and I'm trying to get it out of my head, so I'm numbing the shit out of myself, and I don't care what anybody thinks. No, that's pretty not, doesn't work that way for anybody. See, even the people who become sober can't tell themselves that, and they can't tell you that either, because that's not how it works. You know, in the past when I was a kid, yeah, I was like, man, I need to get high. Blah, blah. You know what I mean? It was my thing when time went on. Well, when I became a man, that wasn't the same. It never has been. I chased that freaking demon as hard as I could, no matter what. When I got going, I couldn't stop. This time it's been different because I was facing either my life, or losing a limb, or never having my family ever again. There's a lot of considerations to take, but had it not been, I just pulled myself out of the hole and said, I'm done, and I'll do anything to be done this time, and be as sick as I've ever been in my life, and I faced it for real. first time in my life I ever faced this demon without going to prison or something of that effect. It worked. I didn't have any support. I was always alone. Through this whole process, I've pretty much been alone, except for my mom. We became really good friends. In fact, we were talking every day there for a while, but I've been really busy with this thing and developing friends and looking for the next Mrs. Michael Merriman, something like that. And it's not easy, I'm going to tell you right now, because I'm stuck in here, right? Because I can't leave this place, but I'm patient. I'm staying here because I need to, because of my leg, right? See that boot that I got on there? I just had surgery done for the 5th time, and if this doesn't work, guess what? They're going to have to take my leg, because I'm not going to sit in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. So, prosthetic, let's go, rock and roll. Let's hope that doesn't happen in the name of Jesus. So, going back to relationships. So you heard what I was saying, right? You heard that my view on marriage based on the Bible and based on a contract. You sign a contract in front of God, you better keep it. I didn't keep it. She didn't keep it. We didn't keep it. Neither one of us took our relationship serious enough to go, wait a minute, we're under contract. Well, not just ourselves, but God, what are we going to do about it? Honey, I need help. Honey, I'm in a lot of pain. I don't know what's going on in my head. I don't know what's going on in my heart. I'm paranoid. I'm not happy with the situation. I'm not happy at home. I'm not happy with you. I'm not happy with him. I'm not happy with her. That would have been my responsibility, and I didn't live up to it. Did I know what was going on exactly at the time? Not really. I just kind of shooed those feelings away. Like, you know, I've always been a man. I'm going to do what I got to do, and that's what I was doing until I couldn't handle it anymore. So it's too late now, right? Fast forward 3 years, it's all over, said and done. I'm moving on with my life, and it sucks because everything I worked to keep for the last 15 years is gone. Almost everything, but most of it is gone. And I don't know what the future holds, but you know, hey, I gave them a chance. Everybody throughout my adult life, they gave me a chance. I let them down. They let me down. Hey, what the hell? Let's just keep moving forward. I have a life to live, and I have a focus. I have a dream. I want to be able to get the laws changed. I'm coming up on, I lied. I'm coming up on 23 minutes. Coming to be 25 minutes. My goal with Let's Start Something is to keep the conversation going. I want you to, if you ever watch these videos, and I'm sorry if it's boring, but I hope that you understand that I do know what I'm talking about. And I just don't want to sit up here and go poor me, because it's not what I'm doing. The focus that I have generally is to own my own shit, so I can teach you to do the same thing. Whether you're an addict or not, we all need to own our own shit and be honest with ourselves, because as soon as we can start loving ourselves, we can definitely love other people. And to be honest means that you love yourself, because you're giving yourself a break. You're not hiding anymore. You're not running anymore. You're not trying to keep up with the status quo. You're not trying to wear the best clothes anymore. You're not trying to have the best shoes anymore. You don't have to look the finest thing you want to look every day, because you love yourself for who you are, which is most important. The most infectious thing about a person is whether they're honest and true. When you meet somebody that's real for the first time, they will blow your mind. I do it every day. Myself, I even blow my mind. The reason for that is because I don't hide anything. And that is awesome. Not anybody can do that I know of. They can, they just don't know how. I got to this point because I was gonna die, right? I was losing my life, literally, at the time. I've already died twice in my life. And for some reason, I'm still here, so I'm going to do whatever I can to prevent that from happening to you and to my family, to my kids, to my grandkids, and everybody else, right? And it starts with me, it starts with you, it starts with us, the community. A network of friends needs to come together and develop an idea, my idea, our idea, on how to solve the problem. That is talking to one another, that is getting on the phone, that is texting, doing whatever you think is most appropriate. I actually hate texting. I hate it because people take shit out of context. They don't know how to read you right. You can express yourself on a phone call. You can express yourself on a video call. Can you express yourself through a text message? If you had a degree in grammar, if you had a degree in English, Maybe you'll be able to express yourself and people would understand you, but who has time to type all that shit out and be expressing yourself when you're trying to hold a conversation? It's freaking annoying. Just saying. That's my opinion. I'll never be the best at it, so just listen to what I'm saying about addiction. We are sick people. We have an illness. 20 million Americans are affected by it. 10% of us are getting the help we need. The purpose I'm doing this is to change the perspective that people have about alcoholics and addicts. The perspective people have about just drugs in general. The perspective people have about people who have a mental disorder. The perspective people have about homelessness. The perspective people have who have money about people who don't. They think it's their choice and they don't care. They're not trying hard enough. Just like a skinny man looks at a fat man and says, look, man, why don't you get on the treadmill and quit eating so much bullshit? It's not always the case. In fact, most of the time it's not the case. Those people who are overweight are not suffering from a I don't give a fuck problem. They're suffering from I am sick problem. Do you understand? So is it fair to treat people who are like that with disgust or whatever? It's just like me being white today. Oh, I hate black Americans. I hate Mexicans. I hate people who are from China or Japanese. That's not me. That's not me. Now, have I used racial slurs and been an asshole in my life? Yes, I have. Does that make me a bigot or prejudiced? No, it don't. What it makes me is a human being. And I've been through the times. I was a young wannabe gangbanger as a kid. I was a gangbanger, but it got to a point where it wasn't me, because that's not me. That's not the type of person. I wouldn't hurt anybody for gain, ever. And that's what it's like to be a gangbanger. You're a gangbanger, and that's what you're doing. You're hurting people for personal gain, or for the gain of the gang. That's their choice. No problem with. I don't have a problem with it. It's just not me, so I moved on. Spent a lot of time in prison. Didn't join no prison gang either. It wasn't required to, because I did me, and they respected that. 90% did. The others I don't care. And I got along and rubbed elbows with some of the most important people I've known, even before I was an adult in there. And it was important to touch base with them and realize, hey man, you're doing what you got to do, and that's all that matters. And that was very important to me. So am I perfect? No, I'm not. This is not what this is about. I'm not standing on my soapbox going, you motherfuckers don't know what you're doing. I'm the next freaking, whatever. No, that's not what I'm doing. I need you to help me. So consider what I'm saying. With Let's Start Something, again, it's about starting the conversation. It doesn't matter what it's about personally, but if you can express yourself with honesty and dignity over a video, and you share it with Let's Start Something and title it, Let's Start Something Depression, Let's Start Something Fentanyl, Let's Start Something Cocaine, Let's Start Something anything that plagues us in this country and other countries abroad, that keeps us down from being able to come up, because we don't know how to come up when we're in the ashes. We have to be taught, or we have to fight through the whole pain several times until we get it right. Now, I hope to God that I'll never use dope again, but I'm not going to be the one to sit here and promise you that. But I'm going to tell you it'll never happen again. But I'm not going to give you my word on it. I'm just telling you, I never plan to ever use drugs again, ever. I mean that. More than I've ever meant it. But I've never really had to tell anybody, hey, I'm never going to do that again. Until recently. I, for one, believe that if I'm going to be a part of this situation, if I'm going to be a part of the solving the problem instead of being the problem, then I can't have a problem. Right? Imagine we elect a president that we thought was somebody in town. Turns out that he wasn't that person. Thought he was honest, thought he was caring, giving, he was keep his word, everything he said he was going to do, he was going to do. Wow, we don't really like that guy anymore, do we? I don't want to be that guy. So me standing up here, sitting here, doing whatever on the video, doing what I'm doing, it's very important that I live by what I say, and what I say is an example of who I am, where I've been. I want the same thing from all the people who watch these videos, from all the people who support me. And even I lied just a minute ago, be honest, we're coming up on 30 minutes. I'm going to end this right now. again, I need to do some interviews with people who have been there and done that. There's a few people here that might give me an interview, and I might do that with them, but I can't expose them or do it until I'm done in this chair and I'm out of this place, out of respect, and that's the reason why I do it. So it's been a lot about me and a lot about my situation, but I'm learning. So whatever I do next week, I'm going to share with you all the things that I learned from Choice Recovery. How to meditate, how to have a proper diet, how to get proper sleep, learn about sleep hygiene, learn about self-care. That's what we're doing right now, is having self-compassion. That's really important too, but that's not all we do. I do 2 classes a day, 3 times a week. Should be 4 times a week, but they won't let me do it here, which kind of sucks. But all that means is I get to spend more time over there, and that's what's cool with me, because I'm learning, right? That's the only reason I'm doing it. So God bless every single one of you. I know that there are people out there really reaching right now, and I hope that I struck a chord with you somehow or another, that you will listen, man. Because if you're a dude, if you're a chick, if you're mom, dad, little brother, little sister, it doesn't matter. This information I'm sharing with you is important. And I hope you share your information with me, because it's important. The quicker we get this done, the quicker we can solve this problem. And it is a problem. It's just a new approach to an old problem. And I plan on doing it this way for a while, and I know it's going to work. God bless you. See you later.